Tiggy, 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 who will come to work for you? Let us cut your rice. Liggy had gone to the fields to look at his growing rice, but when he heard this sound, he looked up and was surprised to see some birds circling above and calling him. "Why, you cannot cut rice," said Liggy. "You are birds and know only how to fly." But the birds insisted that they knew how to cut rice, so finally he told them to come again and when the grain was ripe, and they finally flew away. No sooner had the birds gone than Liggy was filled with a great desire to see them again. As he went home, he wished over and over that his rice were ready to cut. As soon as Liggy left the field, the Tiggy birds began to use magic so that the rice will grow rapidly. And 5 days later, when he returned, he found the birds there ready to cut the ripe grain. Liggy showed them where to begin cutting, and he left them. So no sooner had the birds gone than Liggy was filled with a great desire to see them again. As he went home, he wished over and over that his rice were ready to cut. As soon as Liggy left the field, the Tiggy birds began using the magic so the rice grew rapidly. And 5 days later, when he returned, he found the birds there ready to cut the ripe grain. Liggy showed them where to begin cutting, and then he left them. When he was out of sight, the Tiggy said to the rice cutters, "Rice cutters, you cut the rice alone." And to the bands, which were lying nearby, they said, "Bands, you tie into bundles the rice which the cutters cut." And the rice cutters and the bands worked alone, doing as they were told. When Liggy went again to the field in the afternoon, the Tiggy said, "Come, Liggy, and we see what we have done, for we want to go home now." "Oh, Tiggy, take all the rice you wish in payment, for I am very grateful to you." Then the Tiggy each took one head of rice, saying it was all they could carry, and they flew away. The next morning, when Liggy reached the field, he found the birds already there, and he said, "Now, Tiggy, cut the rice as fast as you can, for when it is finished, I will make a ceremony for the spirits, and you must come." "Yes," replied the Tiggy, "and now we shall begin the work, but you do not need to stay here." So Liggy went home and built a rice granary to hold his grain, and when he returned to the field, the rice was all cut. The Tiggy said, "We have cut all your rice, Liggy, so give us our pay, and when you go home, the rice will be all in your granary." Liggy wondered at this. And when he reached home and saw that his granary was full of rice, he doubted that the Tiggy could be real birds. Not long after this, Liggy invited all his relatives from the different towns to help him make the ceremony for the spirits. As soon as the people arrived, the Tiggy came also, and they flew over the people's head and made them drink basi until they were drunk. Then they said to Liggy, "We are going home now. It is not good for us to stay here, for we cannot sit among people." And here he saw them take off their feathers and put them in the rice granary. Then suddenly they became one beautiful maiden. you not the Tikgi who came to cut my rice?" asked Ligi. "You look to me like a beautiful maiden." "Yes," she replied. "I became Tikgi and cut rice for you, for otherwise you would not have found me." Ligi took her back to his house where the people were making the ceremony. And as soon as they saw her, they began chewing the magic betel nuts to find who she might be. The Queen of Ebang and her husband and that of the Tikki went together, so they knew that she was their daughter who had disappeared from their house one day long ago. While they were in the fields, in answer to their many questions, she told them that she had been in the Banaasa tree where Kabonian had carried her, until the day that she changed herself into the Tikgi birds, and she went to the field of Ligi. Ligi was very fond of the beautiful girl, and he asked her parents if he might marry her. They were very willing and decided on a price he should pay. After the wedding, all the people remained at his house feasting and dancing for 3 months. The end.